So in September of 2011, I got sober. And the first few months were exceptionally hard for me. I was in a touring band, and in a couple days off, I had a week. I didn't know what to do with all my free time. Other than I would go to 12 step meetings, that was crucial. But all the space in between was really hard for me because I was experiencing emotions for the first time. So I had friends that were always looking out for me, trying to find things for me to do in my free time. And a couple friends forwarded me this casting call, this extras casting call for nefarious looking types for this Paramount film. And I went ahead and applied for it. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I was like, okay, why not? So I got an email back a couple days later saying, hey, be at base camp at this address on this day, and I had my plan set up for that day. I would go to a meeting beforehand, and then show up on set. And I made a deal with the guy that was mentoring me at the time in the 12-step program that I would make a meeting a day, regardless of where I was on the road, regardless of how busy I was, regardless of anything. My number one priority was make it to a meeting. And that particular day, my roommate at the time didn't know that I had plans that day, and the person, the place I always parked was in this house where it was like in a corner, and someone could park behind me if they wanted to, but if they did, I couldn't get out. And that happened to be the case that day. So my plan to make a meeting was shattered, and I was crushed because I was absolutely sure that if I didn't go to a meeting that day, that I'd go out and drink. And I was at a point in my life where it's like, if I took one sip of alcohol, I'd get kicked out of the house. I'd get fired by my band. No one would talk to me as it was, so if I did take a drink, they all just know that what they thought was going to happen did happen. So I was pretty sure I was going to die because I wasn't able to make a meeting. But my roommate did show up in time for me to make it to set. So when they got out of the way, on the way to set, I'm crying, I'm praying, and it was a nice, like, snotty cry, just knowing there's no way I'm going to be able to get through this, and basically my life was over. So I show up to set, and when I show up to set, it's at this like prison in Fulton County, and when we show up to the actual location of where the scene is, they kept on like pushing me forward to basically like right near the front of the camera, and the assistant director came up and started talking to me. I still to this day have no idea what she was saying to me, but and the props guy came up and gave me this book, and I looked down at the book and I'm like, there's no way. So I looked down, and it says AA for inmates. And what I came to realize was I was actually I was in a scene for, if you look, the movie Flight, the very end of the movie, spoiler alert, Denzel Washington is giving a speech in an AA meeting about being incapable of just telling one more lie, and about, not being able to imagine life with or without a drink, and all this stuff that, like, if you see my face during that scene, of bewilderment, that is not acting. At that point, I had 0 acting classes. that is me realizing that, you know, I had asked God in my prayers that day that, like, He'd give me a sign that I can stay sober, and that my life wasn't over. And lo and behold, I'm like 4 feet away from like one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and he's giving this beautiful take after take, like master class and acting, like monologue about the importance of staying sober in an AA meeting. And that was the confirmation I needed that life wasn't actually over for me, and maybe there was other things that I could be identified as other than just. I thought I was just one thing my entire life, and I came to realize that all the things that I thought made me different were the things that made me perfect for the film industry too. So it was a real burning bush moment for me, and I was sure I was going to go out and drink because I couldn't make a meeting, and I got paid to be in a meeting that day, and it was a magical experience, and want to offer as much encouragement as I can to people right now having a hard time making it to meetings that sobriety is possible and life does continue to get better. All you gotta do is hang in there. And I love all of you guys. There's nothing you can do about it. And take care. All right.